Welcome to the Extra Point Ep.7. I am Hunter along with my good friend Nick. How are you doing, Nick?
As always, Hunter, I'm doing well. I'm sure you're doing fantastic. Does
You
that
know
sound
what?
about
I'm doing
right?
fantastic, Nick. I'm doing fantastic.
That's what I figured.
Welcome to the Extra Point Ep.7. We have three topics today, all NFL. Shocker, right? We've
Woo.
been getting a lot of NFL topics. That's what everybody wants to hear. So if everybody wants to hear NFL, we will stick with NFL. Real quick, though, we do have an official Twitter out. We do have the Instagram, and now we do have an official Twitter. Link will be in the description, and the username will be in the outro. So go follow us on Twitter, Instagram, all that jazz. But anyway, let's get it started. Topic one of today is the NFL standings, our projected NFL standings, and we will dissect each division and go through each team. Second topic of the day, Cam Newton. Will he win a Super Bowl with the Carolina Panthers? And our third topic, Tom Brady or Bill Belichick.
Can't wait for
Who is
that one.
responsible for the New England Patriots' success ever since 2001? So this week is more of a rivalry thing going. We got Cam Newton, my team, the Panthers, and then we got New England Patriots and Bill Belichick. So this week's probably going to be heated. It's going to be a heated episode, but we're going to get to
Hopefully.
it. Anyway, we're going to start off with NFL standings. Topic one, AFC North. Dissect the AFC North. Who do you got at number 1, 2, 3, and 4?
North. God, this is a tough one. Okay, I just want to say this was my number one ranked division in the AFC. Here's why. I'm going to tell you my top three in the division, and then you're going to know why. Steelers are going to take the division, followed by Browns, followed by Ravens, Bengals. They're just going to be awful as usual, maybe 5-6 wins. What's great though, I have the Steelers and the Browns both going 11-5. The Ravens 10-6. Obviously, when they're both tied, Hunter, that's going to be divisional matchups. Who won, who didn't. I have Steelers winning the division and getting 2 wins against the Browns, and taking one from the Ravens at home. The Ravens typically beat the Steelers in Baltimore. I have them going 10-6. It's kind of generous. We'll see how Lamar Jackson does. John Harbaugh's a great coach. I think that's why they'll grind out 10 wins. They won't make playoffs. Depending on the rest of the AFC, I don't even know if the Browns even make the playoffs. But Steelers 11-5, AFC North champs. They will take the division over the Browns. Hunter, let's hear your crappy argument. Come on.
Okay, well, first of all, like last week, Steelers, we had different arguments going Steelers. I think they're kind of in a
I
rebuilding
know.
stage, and you don't.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I'm going to go completely the fucking opposite.
Oh my God.
We got the Browns at number 1. Good team. They're rebuilding, or they've already basically rebuilt. They got a young team, a lot of talent. This is a year to do it. They'll only have like a couple, 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 years to actually
Yeah.
give
They
it their
can't
all.
afford
So
any longer than that. So
Browns. I'm going to say Browns. Yeah, before they kill each other, I'm sure. Browns are number 1. I'm going to put the Ravens at number 2. I'm going to put the Ravens at number 2, not because of the offense, just because of the defense. I do not personally think that Lamar Jackson is a solid quarterback. He is more of a running back at the quarterback position. So
Cam Newton.
Cam can throw. So the thing is, I'm going to put the Ravens at number 2 just because I think they will have a top 5 defense once again. I think they were number 1 last year. So they will have a top 5 defense. The third place team, I will put the Bengals. No, I'm just kidding. Steelers.
I was about to say, come on.
The
No.
Steelers are going to be at number 3. We talked about it last week. I think they're kind of in a rebuilding stage. They're still a pretty good team, but they might be hitting that downhill slump, and I think they'll be at 3. Bengals at number 4. No argument there. So I got Browns, Ravens, Steelers, and Bengals.
I respectably disagree,
like
but
usual. Anyway,
yes.
moving on to a very tough division right here. We got the AFC South. Couple of teams coming up and coming in the AFC South. Who do you got?
Okay, up and coming team. I have the Colts winning in the AFC South. Respectful 12-4. They could grind out 13, 14 wins. On paper, they might be the best team in the league. On paper. We'll see what Frank Reich does with it. They did good last year. I thought when you have a terrible start, and then Andrew Luck comes back, get all your guys back and healthy. They were one of the hottest teams the second half of the season. So they look really good on paper. I think they're going to win the South. Followed by the Jaguars. I think the Jags are a potential wild card team as well in the AFC. Terrible team last year, terrible quarterback. I've said it before, I'll say it again. A team is only as good as his quarterback. Nick Foles, say what you want about him. He is a Super Bowl champ, MVP, and he's clutch. The Jags had a lot of close games last year due to their defense keeping them in it, and their quarterback, Blake Bortles, my God. He's just awful. He is terrible.
Mhm.
He is arguably worse than Lamar Jackson. I think he's the worst quarterback. Anyway, they have a
Could be.
quarterback now. I think they can get second. Texans, are you a Deshaun Watson fan? I don't know. He hasn't really shown me much yet. I don't think he's terrible by any means, but I don't think he's some star player. I have them going third, followed by Titans taking up the rear just because they're so inconsistent. I mean, they could win 4 straight and then they could lose 5 straight, win 2 more, lose 2 more. Very inconsistent. But uh, that being said, I think that'll still be a really good division because as the Titans, I have a record of 9-7 and they're last in their division. That's a good looking division. So not sure about you, but I got the Colts at first.
Um, I do have the Colts at first. There's no beating that. They come into free agency with $72 million in a free cap, and they have a playoff team already. So Colts, without a shadow of a doubt, number one. I'm going to put the Texans at number two. They had a
Okay.
good team last year. Their defense is back and healthy again. Deshaun Watson is
Temporary.
a good quarterback in my eyes, the most underrated receiver in all of football.
Yeah,
Deshaun, or not, DeAndre Hopkins. And they
probably.
also have Lamar Miller at running back. I think they have a good team. They always have for the past 2 or 3 years, in my opinion, talent wise. So I think they'll be number two. A close one would be number three, would be Jacksonville. I don't have them at number two, and I don't really have them at a playoff spot yet. I'm not sold on Nick Foles. He's had a good couple of games each the past 2 seasons with the Eagles, but I'm gonna flash back to when he was actually a starter back with I think the Rams and the Vikings, maybe. I'm not sure what the first team was, but he was not very good. He had one good year.
Were those teams very good though? He's got a great
True,
defense working with him this year. That's very
right?
helpful for any
But he doesn't
quarterback.
really have a phenomenal offense. Their number one receiver
No.
is Marquise Lee and Dede Westbrook.
You got
So
me on that.
receivers to throw to, not many. He does have a decent offensive line. The offensive line did get better from last year. So I'm not sold on the Jaguars. I'm gonna have to see some more about Nick Foles to score some points. And the Titans, they have a good offensive line. That's all they really have working for them, and a good secondary. And they just picked up Ryan Tannehill, which I'm not a big fan of Ryan Tannehill, so I think they'll finish last in that division. Moving on to the AFC East, is it really a competition down in the AFC East? I think
Competition for
so.
first? I don't think so. I think the
For
Pats
last,
on
actually.
paper. I think the Pats on paper actually could be the best team in the league. I, as a Patriots fan, I really loved their offseason. I think they only got better from last year. I have them going first by a substantial number of wins. This might shock you. Okay.
Hmm,
I have the Jets going second in the division, and I project them to possibly be an AFC wildcard team.
really?
I
Yeah,
really
see?
like what the Jets did in the offseason. I think
Yeah,
they
me
are
too.
going to be a solid team. That being said, they're not on the Patriots level yet, so they're going to get second. followed by the Bills. Respectfully, probably going to be about the same where they were last year. I don't think they made any major improvements that would substantially make a difference on their team. This is funny. Dolphins last, and as the weeks have gone by since we talked about the draft and the Rosen trade, I have somewhat shifted my opinion.
Oh, really? To mine?
No, no. Not about Rosen. It's more or less, I keep saying Flores was a great coach. He's a great play caller. I don't know how he is as a coach. They could possibly not win a game this year. They're going to be dead last in the AFC East. They could almost go 0-16. They don't look good at all. So,
Nope. Yeah. I have the exact same thing. Patriots, Jets, Bills, and Dolphins
okay.
at dead last. Shocker. I've been saying that ever since I think episode 2. Yeah, the Jets are looking really good. The problem with the Jets, and they've had it for a couple of years now, they don't have any star receivers. And I really want to get Sam Darnold some keys or some star players to throw to. Their number one receiver is Robbie Anderson. And I'm sorry, but no, he's not what the Jets want him
He
to be.
is not a star, but he is certainly an
He's
above
solid.
average receiver. He's a good receiver, I'd say.
He's
He's not a
solid.
like top tier.
I just want some more pieces in there. They have a decent offensive line, a good quarterback, one receiver that's fair or good, I guess you would call it. They now have a running back and a solid defense, so I like what the Jets are doing. The Bills, like you said, I agree with you 100%. They're going to be the exact same thing as they were last year,
They haven't
sadly.
made any changes at all. I don't know why.
No. And then the Dolphins, y'all will lose to them one time, I'm sure, just because y'all do it
In
every year.
Miami, we'll do it every
So they will
freaking
be 1-15 against and beating the possibly best team in the NFL. So yeah, I
I
do have Patriots, Jets, Bills, and Dolphins.
I see it.
Shocker. AFC West, my opinion, the probably the most stacked team in the AFC, not if not the NFL. So let me hear what you have for the AFC West.
Okay. Um, throwing some respect to Philip Rivers, who deserves it. I think he is still at least a top 10 quarterback in this league. His team, once again, like last year, looks great on paper. I love the coach. He's done a good job. They've gotten better the last 3 years. Why not get better this year? I have them winning the AFC West. Um, Phillips somewhat clutch, I would say, and I think he can pull out some good games against the Chiefs and the Raiders. Speaking of Raiders, I have them second. That's correct, Hunter. You did not hear the Chiefs come out of my mouth. In the 1 or 2 spot, you are the Chargers, then the Raiders. John Gruden is a very underrated coach. He has a lot of talent on that team. If he can get it going, they could have one of the best offenses in the league. And defensively, they have a lot of great playmakers. I have them going second behind the Chargers, respectfully. The Chiefs, I know we call it a sophomore slump, and last year, Mahomes, it was his sophomore season, but he was more or less a rookie starter.
Right.
I'm expecting a sophomore slump from Patrick Mahomes. Not some, I don't think he's going to be Eli and throw 20 interceptions and 15 touchdowns, but he's not doing what they did last year. And the only reason they went as far as they did was because he threw 55 touchdowns and for 5,000 yards. He's not going
You
to do
have
that
been
this year.
hyping him up all off season. What in
What are you
the
talking
world?
about?
You
No,
have
it
been
did not.
hyping him up.
I say he's a great quarterback, and he is
Okay.
going to. He's not going to throw for 55 touchdowns and 5,000 yards again. He's not.
They just lost his number one receiver. So,
Yeah. Well, he's not. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
I agree.
They could easily go 500. I mean, them and the Raiders were close for me. If you want to put them at number 2, that's fine. Broncos, they're no competition. They're still awful. They're going to be dead last in that division once again.
Even with Joe Flacco, you kidding me?
No, the great Joe Flacco. Yeah, he's going to make one hell of a difference, Hunter. Yeah, Super Bowl champs, Broncos, 2019. Come on.
So for the AFC West, I have the Chiefs and the Chargers as a toss-up. Both very good teams. Both improved their defense tremendously. Last year, the Chargers had safeties playing at linebacker. Safeties playing at linebacker. They actually added
Drafted
some
another
depth
one.
in the draft and in offseason, getting some D linemen and getting a little bit of linebackers and I think 2 safeties. So they did address the defensive problem, and they've always had a pretty good offense. So I'm going to put the Chiefs at number 1 just because I still think they do have a better offense, even though they lost Kareem Hunt and Tyreek Hill. I don't think Patrick Mahomes is going to do what he did last year. No. But I think he can still lead the Chiefs' offense to score enough points, and their defense, I don't think, will allow 30 points a game. Their defense did get better. So I do have the Chiefs at number 1, Chargers at number 2. Basically, the Chiefs and Chargers are the same exact team, honestly, offensively, and they just didn't have a defense. Now they do. I'm going to put the Raiders at number 3, basically all we've been talking about. Raiders
Yeah.
are not that bad anymore, and they're rebuilding. And then the great Broncos at dead last. Flacco has a little bit of an attitude.
Yeah.
And
Throwing some shade at the rookie.
yeah, but it's not his job, so whatever. Yeah,
Apparently not.
Broncos at number 4. So yeah, now we're going to move on to the NFC.
I like it.
NFC North, a very stacked division, honestly.
Mm,
Who do you got in
okay.
the NFC North?
I have the upbringing of the Chicago Bears. I believe they will be first in their division, followed by the Packers. I think we can expect MVP season out of Aaron Rodgers. I expected it last year, didn't get it. He was still recovering, still injured. This year, there's no excuses. I expect MVP work out of him. That was a toss-up between Bears and Packers for me, but the Bears defense, wow. I think they're going to be one of the best in the league. Put them first in their division, followed by the Packers. Vikings are going to be third. I think they won't make the playoffs because of that. They're a disappointing team almost every year to me because on paper, last few years, they've had a phenomenal team, and Mike Zimmerman cannot do anything with them. I think they'll be disappointment. Lions will be last in their division, but respectfully, they could possibly go 500 in the second year under Matt Patricia. That's a win for them. For them, I don't think it's about their division. It's about how many wins can we grind out with this young new team. And respectfully, they will get last in their division, but they could be a 500 team, so they got that going. Bears for the NFC North for me.
Okay. Yep, I agree completely. Bears, Packers, Vikings, Lions. Bears, the youngest defense in the NFL and arguably the best, if not
Best.
second
Yeah.
best or third in the NFL. Mitchell Trubisky had a good year last year, as well as the Bears offense, and I think they will be number 1 once again and make the playoffs and hopefully do some more damage in the playoffs than sadly last year because I was rooting for them. Packers,
Parky.
they beefed up their defense quite a bit, and the defense was the only problem that the Packers had last year. They addressed the struggles, but not enough to top the Bears. I think the Bears' defense is still too good for the
Yeah.
Packers. Vikings, like you said, the Vikings have all the talent in the world on that roster.
They just
And they just
can't.
cannot do
They
anything
don't do
with it. I don't
anything with it.
understand.
Yeah.
I mean, if they could figure it out, number 1 team, I would say they would top the Bears. But
Yeah.
I just don't see it. I don't
I
understand
don't
what the problem
trust
is. I don't know
Mike
if it's staff or
Zimmerman.
anything.
I don't know if he's not disciplined enough and he has a bunch of talent and he just can't do anything with it. I don't know what the problem is. They are such a good team. I hate it. They'll lose 4 straight games. I'm like, how?
Yeah, exactly.
How does this
To
happen?
teams
Look at
that
your
aren't
roster
that they shouldn't lose
to
to.
500 teams. Yeah.
Right.
Ridiculous.
So I do have the Vikings and the Lions. They've been the same for a couple years now, and I don't see them really getting any better this year. Maybe next year, but no. So we agreed with the NFC North. What about my NFC South? Who do you got in the NFC South?
Ooh, this is always exciting.
Definitely.
So what I did was I had a 3-headed coin and I flipped it to get my 1, 2, and 3. Because the Panthers, Saints, and Falcons are the most consistent 1, 2, and 3. Every other year, it could be different team ever. This is always the toughest, I would say, or at least the most evenly matched division at the very least in the entire NFL. This year, I did have Panthers, mainly because McCaffrey looks like he could lift
Oh,
Bank of America Stadium and drop it on top of Atlanta and Saints. And yeah, no, but they look really good. They had a good receiver in the draft. Um, McCaffrey is going to be, I thought he had a breakout season last year. He could be even better. The dude's going to be great. Cam, I think call me crazy, but if he is good to throw come regular season, I think the surgery might help him out because he's not going to want to be launching the ball anymore as hard as he can. I think it'll make him a better passer. I think the Panthers will be first in the division, followed by the Saints. This is one of those, once again, I think they both will have the same record, but the Panthers will pull out more division wins and probably steal one. They could steal one at the Dome, as they have done in recent years. So I'm expecting a good year from the Panthers, good year from the Saints, but I think the Panthers will beat them out. So Saints number 2. Falcons, that's an inconsistent team. Wow, I don't
yes.
know. They could last year they looked good. I thought their offense should have been about number 1 in the league, and they were about top 10. Their defense was terrible. Vic Beasley was a joke. I don't know where he went after that Super Bowl season a few years ago. I don't know. Because of their inconsistency, third, and the Buccaneers, much like the Bills, they made no major changes. Bruce Arians is not a bad coach, but it's his first year. They're in a rebuilding stage. They're going to be dead last in that division. No competition.
Okay. Sadly, I will get into the Panthers more come the Cam Newton topic.
Interesting.
Saints, they still have a phenomenal offense. Drew Brees is the heart and soul of that team. They didn't really improve a whole lot in the draft. They were decent, but they're still arguably one of the best offenses in the league. And their defense somehow showed up last year. If their defense can perform just like they did last year, they're still number 1 team. I do have the Panthers at number 2. The Panthers, arguably, in my opinion, and I'm not being biased, had the best draft in the NFC South, hands down, without a shadow of a doubt. Addressed major changes. The only change they didn't address was at the safety position, which is not that big of a deal, in my opinion. So I had the Saints, Panthers, Falcons, like you said, are very inconsistent. The Falcons did not do a dang thing in the draft. They had a horrible draft, did not improve at all, and they have basically the same exact team. And
Mm-hmm.
last year, it didn't pan out, and I don't think this year it will pan out. I like Julio, but Julio doesn't really have a phenomenal quarterback to throw to him. I'm not a big fan of Matt Ryan, so I think the offense will slack as well as the defense, and I think they'll finish third. Buccaneers didn't really. They had a decent draft, but I still don't see their offense taking off. Bruce Arians can probably mold Jameis Winston. He's a good quarterback coach. I'll give him that. But this year,
Yeah.
this is their rebuilding stage, their actual rebuilding stage. They haven't been very good in a while, but Bruce Arians might can turn it around. I still have them going fourth this year, but maybe who knows? Next year or the year after that, they might do some damage. So I do have Saints, Panthers, Falcons, and
Okay.
Bucks. But the like you said, the Saints and Panthers could flip
It's
flop.
it's the toss up. Yep.
Yep. NFC East. Who do you got in the NFC East? That's another
NFC
tough division.
East. This is always a tough one. Yeah.
Yep.
Eagles, I think, are looking for redemption from last year. They were a great team on paper again last year. Don't know why they weren't representing the NFC in the Super Bowl. To be honest, I thought they were good. They have another great team looking this year. Don't see any reason, obviously, if this could go one of two ways. I have them first in their division as one of the better teams with the better records in the league, but that all depends on Carson Wentz. If he can stay healthy, they're going to be a dominant team. If he stays healthy, they should win the NFC East. Followed by the Cowboys. I think they're going to do about what they always do, maybe 500, just above it. No really substantial moves that would help their team in any major way, if you ask me. So, great running back, dominant offensive line like every year, great defensive playmakers, terrible coach. So I put them second behind the Eagles, followed by the Redskins, who I think Haskins could show out and possibly be a Rookie of the Year candidate. I think he was one of the best quarterbacks in the draft. We already talked about that. So they have a steal there. Last is going to be Giants, much like the Dolphins. Just wow. I was looking on their roster again, and they have one player. His name is Saquon Barkley. They have nobody else that is good in any way, shape, form, or fashion. It is
No,
terrible.
they
They are
don't.
awful.
They are.
So they're last.
I'm gonna flip flop a couple of your picks there. I'm gonna put the Cowboys at number one. Sadly, I'm not a big fan of the Cowboys. They don't have a good coach, and they don't have a good GM, CEO, owner, vice president, president of marketing, scouting director, because it's the same person, Jerry Jones.
Yeah,
Not a big
right.
fan of the Cowboys, but I do have them at number one, all because of one player, and that is Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper
Yeah.
shined with the Cowboys. I think they won like the 8 of the last 10 games, or 9 of their last 10, or some crazy number. I'm not 100% sure, but they won some crazy number of games with Amari Cooper compared to when they didn't have him. They had a losing record. I have the Cowboys at number one just because of Amari Cooper and a pretty decent offense. Hopefully, we'll see if Dak Prescott can shine like he did last year. He did pretty good last year. The Redskins, I'm going to put at number two instead of the Eagles. The Redskins, in my opinion, have a better team. Hopefully, Dwayne Haskins will start. If Dwayne Haskins will start, I think they will be number two. I don't really have it close between the Cowboys and Redskins, but I do have them at number two. Eagles at number three, just because they didn't really do much in the offseason. They do have a good team, but the Eagles and Redskins can flip flop. Honestly, if Dwayne Haskins doesn't start, the Eagles are number two. But if Dwayne Haskins starts, I put the Redskins at two. Eagles, I'm going to put at number three, just because they didn't really do much in the draft or free agency. And
Okay.
then, yeah, am I missing
That one.
somebody? I don't think I'm missing a team.
No, yeah, we'll just move on to the last NFC division. Oh no, Hunter, you forgot about the Giants.
The Giants, yeah.
Remember?
Okay, so the NFC
Yeah.
West. Who do you got the NFC West, Nick?
NFC West, Rams once again. They lost Sue in the offseason. They gained some other veterans throughout the positions. I think they're just as good, arguably better than last year. Why not? They're going to be first by a mile, if you ask me.
Yes, sir.
Second, respectfully, Jimmy Garoppolo could or could not be a solid quarterback. He was at an okay start last year, got hurt a couple games in, so we don't know what he can do yet. I'm basing them being second in the division off of him doing well. I thought they had a good draft, and they could possibly be a solid team, and they could be a 500 or plus team. That was hard between them and the Seahawks. I know the Seahawks had the number one rushing offense last year, and I thought Russell Wilson was phenomenal once again. He's a great quarterback, but defensively, it has fallen apart. The Legion Boom is officially done.
Right.
Another huge thing was Doug Baldwin for me. I thought he was a great receiver, but him having those two major surgeries and retiring, that's a huge blow for the Seahawks. Like a huge blow. Almost every third down, that is the main target.
Yep.
That is the first guy Wilson looks for. He is now gone. That's a big blow for me. That's why I put them behind the 49ers and the Cardinals. Hope Kyler Murray does okay. We'll see. But first year head coach typically doesn't work out very well in the NFL. I think they'll be last in the NFC West.
Okay. I do have the Rams at number one, not even close. They are probably the first, if not second, best team in the NFC. Possibly, we'll see. But I do have them at number first, and the second and third is a toss-up. I know I'm gonna go.
Yep.
The team that finished last year might pull out a second spot in the NFC West. I am saying it right now, hands down. I'm not even kidding. I'm gonna put the Cardinals at number two if Kyler Murray shows up. If Kyler Murray turns out and has a solid rookie year, like people are predicting him to have. I know, Nick. I'm gonna put him at number two. Number three will be the 49ers. If Kyler Murray doesn't do what people are thinking he does, actually, no. If Kyler Murray doesn't have a great year, they will fall to number three. The 49ers do have a the 49ers do have a decent team. I'll put them at number 2, Cardinals number 2. They flip-flop, number 2, number 3. And I want to put the Seahawks at number 4. They just lost everything. The only thing they have on that team really is Bobby Wagner and Russell Wilson. That's it. I
They
mean,
have a great running back. They have a great
yeah,
rushing offensive line. They didn't lose anyone there.
but
They
where's
have
their
a good
defense at?
coach.
They don't have a defense. They do have a good
Yeah,
coach. They don't have a defense.
they don't have they're back to an average defense at best, but they still have a young defense. Last year they had some young players that did stand out. Whether their defense is great or not, I know they have lost a step, but Hunter, the Cardinals,
Yeah,
they are probably top 5 they're on the bottom of the NFL from 1 to 32. They're probably 28th at best. Are you saying that the Seahawks are going to be that bad or worse?
I'm saying that the Seahawks and the Cardinals will probably either go neutral or a losing record. I can see the Cardinals splitting with
God.
the Seahawks. I can see the 49ers splitting with the Seahawks and Cardinals. That division is tight despite one team. The Rams are out of it. They are number 1, period. But the Cardinals, Seahawks, and 49ers all could split. I
Mm-hmm.
do, if Kyler Murray shows up and has a great rookie year, they could be number 2. If he doesn't, 49ers at number 2. But the Seahawks, I have them at 4. Not by much, but I do have them at 4. It's going to be a close race in that division for second or third.
Oh yeah, that's great.
I'm
That's
not jumping on the Kyler Murray bandwagon, but they did address some key points in their offseason. So yeah, I'm sorry, Nick.
Let's move on from that. That was. Oh, I'm glad that was the last thing we did because I couldn't stand much more of that. That was wow.
Wow, you're
Cardinals
really bagging on it that
over
bad?
Cardinals second in that division. Oh my
Second or
god.
third?
Yeah.
Second or third.
Okay.
All right, we got
let's
topic 2. We're already hit 32 minutes in this podcast, but it's going to be a long one, but we'll power through. Topic number 2, will Cam Newton win a Super Bowl with the Carolina Panthers? Nick, don't make me irritated. Let's hear it.
You're actually going to be very pleased with my answer. I'm going to say yes.
Wow.
It could be within the next couple of seasons. If he's still playing in the next 5 seasons, it could be 5 seasons from now. Cam is a great football player. I won't say he's a phenomenal quarterback because quarterbacks have to throw the football at an accurate rate. Last year, he wasn't bad. He really was not a terrible passer. He was honestly top 10 in several categories as far as QBR, percentage. I think it was like 67 or something. I think he had a career high in completion percentage. To me, it was his maturity over this last season I thought was what gave me kind of hope for him. Even his MVP year, a great year. He played his game. He got in the end zone, but he ran the hell out of the football like a monster. I mean, he found the end zone. I think it was 14 times rushing. That was like a single season record for quarterbacks. He just total touchdowns. What he did, total yards, including the passing. I mean, he was a solid passer that year too. Was phenomenal. But I look at what he did in the Super Bowl. I know that defense was great. They even tore up Tom Brady. I understand that, but his attitude that year, especially like the post game from the Super Bowl, you're walking out. Come on, man. They're just asking questions. What's the big deal? Walks out. Things like that. He was complaining this and that. He always having problems with the media. The last year, I didn't really see anything last year. I thought he really matured last year. I think maybe he's humbled down a little bit. I think after the shoulder surgery, he could be even a better overall quarterback. I'm telling you, he's not going to try and throw his arm off this year. He's going to make better passes. Maybe he'll work on his stance, quit throwing off his back foot. To go along with his rushing, he's still come on.
We can wish. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. They can wish.
So he's still a great rushing quarterback. I mean, third all time in rushing yards by a quarterback, almost 5,000 yards. And he's first by a landslide with 58 rushing touchdowns as a quarterback. So along with their defense being solid, I know they lost a couple guys, but they still have Kuechly, who's the best linebacker in the game. Sorry, Bobby Wagner. He's got you beat, man. Luke Kuechly is the best. And then offensively, Christian McCaffrey was huge. God, he's a great player. I love Christian McCaffrey. He can do it all. That's going to take relief and pressure off of Cam. Their own line certainly is not the greatest, but I still say they're average. I don't think they're anything to brag about. I don't think they're anything to look at and go, oh my God. They're not bad. In the next few years, as long as he stays healthy, that's his big thing for me. I think he's gotten his attitude back to a good point. He's humbled down. If he can stay healthy, they have a shot at least, you say winning a Super Bowl. They could at least make another Super Bowl appearance. Whether he plays that Broncos defense, the legendary defense, or Steel Curtain, I don't know. But
Yeah.
he, honestly, I have gained some respect for him after last season. He turned things around. Does that make you feel better, Hunter? You thought I was going to go the other direction, didn't you?
I was.
Gotcha.
I was.
I got you.
Okay.
I got a lot of respect for him after last season. So I think he can.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Yes, I do. I completely agree with you. If Cam Newton stays with the Panthers after his contract ends 2020, they will win a Super Bowl with him, hopefully. I think they will. Obviously, if he's not with the team after 2020, then no.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't see us winning a Super Bowl. Panthers winning a Super Bowl in the next 2 years, but who knows?
Mm-hmm.
The one thing that stood out to me, Cam Newton, as you said, he matured. I saw him start to mature after the Super Bowl loss. I don't know what happened after that, but he just completely changed his mentality. I don't know if that's when he had his kid. I'm not 100% sure, but Steve Smith was talking about it on NFL Network about his maturity level and how he's changed.
Yeah.
So yes, that is the maturity level. Anyway, they're building a young, talented offense around him. Ever since he came into the league, he's been around all these veterans. Even like 2 years ago, he's been with nothing but veterans. Like he was a veteran 2 years ago, but there was still more veterans on that team than him on the offensive side of the ball. They're actually picking up young players. Christian McCaffrey, DJ Moore, Curtis Samuel. So there's your running back and two receivers. They
Mm-hmm.
have Ian Thomas, who could possibly show off and come up above Greg Olsen in the next couple of years. I don't know. The tight end, Darrell Williams, Trey Turner, and Greg Little. They're bringing in all these young pieces of the offense, which Cam Newton has not had his whole entire career, sadly. Bulking up the O-line is a big deal. He's been sacked on average 36 times a year. 36 times a year. I don't
Not
know
the
about
best
you,
to
but any
say.
quarterback that gets hit 36, not in the pocket, 36 times a year, that's ridiculous. So they're building the offensive line, got a new center. Hopefully Greg Little starts at left tackle, might move uh, Trey Turner at right guard, Darrell Williams at right tackle, and possibly Taylor Moton at left guard. That's a solid offensive line in my eyes. And last year, they brought in a new offensive tool in North Turner. North Turner made the offense very good last year before Cam Newton got hurt. After he got hurt, it kind of died down. But North Turner bringing in a new style offense to get the ball out quick, to introduce McCaffrey in multiple ways, and that buffed up Cam Newton's completion percentage to 68%, which is an all-time high for him. Granted, he was hurt. He can't throw very far, so he just dumped it off to Christian McCaffrey, and that's how he had like 130-plus catches. But still,
Yeah. Hey,
them bringing
it's an
in North
efficient.
Turner. Huh?
It's an efficient offense. It's an
Yeah.
efficient offense. The dump pass works. Ask Tom Brady.
Yeah, I know.
Works like a charm.
We'll get to that soon. But yes, Cam Newton getting all these young players in, and they're rebuilding the offense, revamping it. Hopefully, will energize Cam. North Turner can work his magic with the offense, and I think they will have a re-energized offense next year and for years to come, hopefully, if they keep it up. So, yes, I do think Cam Newton will win a Super Bowl with the Panthers. Finally, hopefully the defense can work out, but we'll see.
Okay. See? Well, that wasn't so bad, was it?
No,
We
I
both
don't want.
agreed on that.
Now, though,
Now
it's
we're
time
gonna.
to
I
disagree.
completely. Yeah. In fact, I want you to open up your argument. I want you to open up this one, Hunter.
Oh, it's going to be a long one.
Go ahead. Open up. Let's hear it.
I've talked to multiple Patriots fans in this time span of a week, and they have all agreed with me on Bill Belichick. First off, let's go ahead and say topic 3. Who is the key to the Patriots' success? Is it Bill Belichick or Tom Brady? It's a topic that has been going on, or a news story that's been going on for years and years and years, and we're going to address it here on the Extra Point, episode 7. I am going to go ahead and say Bill Belichick, and I have 3 reasons, and 3 reasons only.
Okay.
First one, scheme. Bill Belichick has put together a scheme that can work with any quarterback. Not going to say, I'm not going to throw in like, I don't know, some rink-a-dink guy that hasn't touched a football, but you know what I mean. A decent quarterback can work in that scheme. Drag routes, your quick receivers, dump off a drag route, dump off a 2 to 3 yard in, a slant route, whatever, a wheel route when the safety comes down to the running back, whatever. The scheme works for the Patriots. Granted, Tom Brady is a very good quarterback. He is a great quarterback, actually, and he is the best. I'm not going to lie. He is the best, but I think that Bill Belichick made Tom Brady the way that he is. Number 2, finances. Let's see, this dynasty started in 2001, I do believe.
Yep.
When has the Patriots had a rebuilding year?
Never.
Never. So the rebuilding, my definition of a rebuilding team is a team that has lost so much financially that they have to take apart their star players and rebuild the team with more talent and restart financially. Bill Belichick is the general manager and head coach of the New England Patriots, and him bringing in these Walmart cashiers, these McDonald cooks, and turning them into gold. Julian Edelman, never heard of him before the Patriots. Chris Hogan, never heard of him. I think he played with the Bills as a fourth-string receiver. Malcolm Butler, he made him, and then boom, kicked him out, and look what he's doing with the Titans. Absolutely nothing. So him taking these players that are not star players and making it work. I have a lot of respect for Tom Brady, literally not taking any pay raise. He doesn't get paid as much as he should, and he just wants to win games, and that's how Belichick is. He's not going to pay you a lot. You're going to come here and you're going to win a Super Bowl because I know how to win it, and I know what to do, and I know who to put in these situations to build a team, and he is phenomenal at it. And then also, my third reason, knowledge of the game. Bill Belichick is a mastermind. My favorite coach when it comes to knowing how to win a game. Tom Brady has that clutch factor. I get it. But who on the sideline tells Brady what to do? Who designs the drive? Who designs the plays? Who stages a comeback for Brady to follow? A 28-3 lead in the halftime. 28-3 lead at halftime.
Okay.
Brady can't wait. Brady can capitalize on those opportunities, but Bill Belichick makes that happen, in my opinion. Bill Belichick is a very smart coach, offensively and defensively. He writes the plays along with Josh Daniels or whatever his name is, offensive coordinator. And I think he is a very smart coach. He stages the comebacks, and Belichick or Tom Brady is a very good quarterback, and he can listen to what Belichick says and capitalize on those clutch drives and do what needs to be done and score touchdowns like they do. I'm going to go ahead and say 2008.
Oh, so
do you know what happened in 2008, Nick? Do you remember exactly?
Tom Brady got hurt, therefore the Patriots did not make the playoffs.
Matt Castle came into the game.
Tom Brady got hurt, and they did not make the playoffs.
They finished 11-5, Nick. 11-5 in 2008. They didn't make the playoffs, but that is a phenomenal record not to make the playoffs. 11-5, it's a pretty good record. Did not make the playoffs, right? But 11-5 did a very good job with Matt Castle. Ask any Chiefs fan what Matt Castle is, and they'll tell you he's a wonderful quarterback. Let's see. Jacoby Brissett. Won some games with him. Jacoby Brissett's career percentage. One game, you're right. Won a game with him. Then he won 1-1 with him.
Yeah, he won a 1-1. Okay. The one they lost, we lost 28-0.
16-0. 16.
They got shut out, Hunter.
16-0. You're right. They also won with Garoppolo, who
he's a solid quarterback.
He's not. He shouldn't be getting paid $100 million because his career touchdowns is 17 and his career interceptions is 8, with a completion percentage of 65%. Which, looking at quarterbacks nowadays, it's not very good. So, I'm saying Brady is a great quarterback, phenomenal. But Belichick knows how to make that team work offensively and defensively. You can take any quarterback in the league, put him into the Patriots offense, and it will work out.
Okay, so I'm going to go to my point now. Like you brought up the 2008 season with Matt Castle, right? Or Cassell, right. Whatever. 11-5. You're right. It's not that bad, but they didn't make playoffs. Okay. One thing I want to pull up for you. I'm just going to give you some Tom Brady stats, and several of these coincide. You know, I'm not going to bring up his wins because that really just coincides with him and Belichick. They got the same numbers as far as Patriots as a head coach. Okay. 6-time Super Bowl champ with the Pats. So isn't Bill. He's a 4-time Super Bowl MVP. Okay. He's a 3-time regular season MVP. 2-time Offensive Player of the Year.
Yep.
And I think he got the Comeback Player of the Year back in 2009. Yep. Here is why. Now, Belichick, everything you said was right. Belichick he's the greatest of all time in almost anything that involves coaching or GM. Okay. He builds teams. Would the Patriots be successful without Tom Brady? Yes, they would. Yes. They might would have won a couple Super Bowls, maybe.
Yeah.
Not 6 Super Bowls. And I'm hoping before Tom Brady's retired, they will have 7. The one, and you said you recognized this, but you didn't really care for it. You just kind of said a little sense about it. You said Tom Brady is clutch. In all 6 Super Bowls, Tom Brady has 6 game-winning Super Bowl drives.
Yep.
6.
Yes.
Without him being clutch, let's say they never drafted Tom Brady. Who knows? Who knows if they actually beat the Raiders in the snow flurry? Who knows? Who knows if they actually move on and put up 30-something against what was the NFL favorite to win it all against the Steelers? Who knows? Who would replace them? Aaron Rodgers, could he do that? Sure, he could. But if Aaron Rodgers is on the Patriots right now and they won a Super Bowl this year, and Aaron Rodgers had a game-winning Super Bowl or game-winning drive in the Super Bowl, and they won, I'm not going to say, oh, Bill Belichick, another great year. He put his team. He's the reason their team won. I'm going to say no. Aaron Rodgers is the reason they won the Super Bowl. He's the reason they win. They won 11-5 without Tom Brady. They can win games without him because he's a genius. They won 11-5 this year and they struggled. But in the playoffs, in the big moments, in the moments that matter, all your coach can do is sit there on the sideline and watch.
That's all. Are you going to say that Eli Manning
marched down the field? Yeah, go ahead.
Are you going to say that Eli Manning won the Super Bowl for them twice against y'all? He single-handedly won that Super Bowl?
He was clutch.
Because I remember when y'all played the Falcons.
He was clutch.
I remember when y'all played the Falcons, Tom Brady threw it into quadruple coverage, and Edelman came down with an impossible catch.
Correct. Then he threw for over 300 yards in a quarter and a half, if you count the in the second half and the overtime.
Okay.
And we ended up getting 4 touchdowns out of it and a game-winning drive.
How many points did the Falcons score after halftime?
How many points did they score total? 28.
Exactly. So who stopped that? The Belichick came up with a game plan to literally stop them in their tracks and an offensive plan to lead them to
35 points from what your quarterback produces to win the game.
You're right. But I'm saying, so going back to the Tom Brady winning Super Bowls with Bill Belichick. Belichick, in my eyes, could win 3 to 4 Super Bowls without Brady. Not 6. You're right. Not 6.
That's where we disagree. I
He could
think he
win
could win.
3 to 4 Super Bowls without Brady. Brady on another good offense. We'll say not great offense like the Patriots, but a good offense with a good head coach. Maybe 2. I don't see him win just because of
that is where we disagree. I'm the exact opposite.
But Bill Belichick, no other coach / GM has went 20 years without a rebuilding stage. You know who has? Bill Belichick.
I'm not saying he's not. We're asking who is responsible for the Patriots' sustained success.
Yes.
If you count just winning regular season games as successful, yeah, it's Bill Belichick. If you count winning Super Bowls, which are the goal, it's Tom Brady. Even in last year's Super Bowl, you might say if you're a fan of the game, I thought it was a great game. Defensively, it was impressive. They shut Tom Brady down. Wade Phillips got in his mind. I've never seen it happen before. Tom Brady didn't know what to do. He was guessing for most of the game. Come down to 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, and you're tied 3-3. He has 4 straight completions, totaling for about 70 yards and setting up a touchdown right when you need it. Game-winning drive. You get the ball in overtime. Actually, let's go back to the 28-3 against the Falcons. You can get the turnovers. Hightower with the fumble recovery. The defense stepped up. You're right. The defense did step up after they gave up 28 points, but they stepped up.
Yeah, sure.
If your quarterback can't march you down the field to put you in the end zone and get twice in the fourth quarter and get 2 2-point conversions to go with that, you're not even going to overtime for the win.
I get it. And that's where we agree in some situation. They need each other. I understand that. They do need each other. But yes, Brady is clutch and he can make those throws and he can march down the field. But behind that, who gets those receivers open on the play designs and calling the shots? Who is the strategic mind behind all that? Brady, he knows what Belichick's doing and he can make some good throws.
Correct. He has an offense he puts together. Mm-hmm. He does not. There sometimes and occasionally in big moments, hey, it's 4th and 1. Bill, what do you want to do? And McDaniels will say, and he'll just ask him, what do you want to do? He'll say, let's go for it. Great. That is between Josh McDaniels, or it used to be Bill O'Brien, who was a great offense coordinator for us at the time. Bill O'Brien and Josh McDaniels are the ones that have called the plays. Tom Brady, because his hard work and film study, can break down any defense, calls audibles all the time. He makes it happen. He's like the one that steps up in the pocket. Yeah. Well, like any quarterback, he's the best at it, though, Hunter. You can't just put a guy that's good, that's okay. He's the best. He can read a defense and completely change a play, and we can get a touchdown on it. He does it all the time. Okay. The play calling, you act like the play calling, the offense that he wants, yes, it's the offense he wants. He's the one that says, hey, Josh, we're going to do this year. Hey, we're against this team. We're doing this. I get that. Josh McDaniels is a great offense coordinator, okay? He calls great plays. That has nothing to do with Bill. He will get his say-so on, hey, 4th down, we're going to go for it. Hey, Bill, you want to punt it? Great. That's it. That's really all he has to do with the offense. That is it. He does not call plays at all. He's a great defensive mind.
I see Josh McDaniels does design the offensive plays, but if you go and watch A Football Life on Bill Belichick, I'm sure you did, Bill Belichick will just literally just in the sand, like in backyard football, do this. Touchdown against their practice, during practice or whatnot. I'm not saying that Bill Belichick has complete control of everything. He doesn't. Josh McDaniels is a good offensive coordinator. But when it comes to overall success of the team, winning the Super Bowls, you have to win games to get to the Super Bowl. Tom Brady will not win 6 Super Bowls, will not win 4 Super Bowls with another team just because the overall success and overall knowledge of another coach, they don't have it. Bill Belichick has it. There's no
Please
other team
remind
that will go 20 straight
forget
seasons.
that Bill Belichick was a head coach for several years on his own in Cleveland, and they failed epically. I think their best
Okay.
season, they won 9 games. Their best
Okay.
season, they won 9 games. Their defense was great during that time. Their offense was terrible. He gets a guy like Tom Brady. Even that first year they won the Super Bowl, the offense is never really that great. Brady wasn't really that great that year, but he was clutch. And the clutch part came out, and that's what helped them win that very first Super Bowl to start it all off. Otherwise, it could just been another. Oh, Bill had a great season. His defense is great, but they couldn't get it done.
Bill
If
Belichick
Tom
was not
Brady,
the general manager with the Browns, though. He was just the head coach. There's a big difference. He is both in the Patriots. I wish. I can't imagine the total control he has over that team. It's phenomenal. And he does a really good job. Yes, Brady is clutch and he wins those games. I get it. But overall success,
what
no.
is success besides winning? You
You
win games.
just
That
take
is
just
successful.
take Brady out of the picture and throw him in the we'll say with the Saints. Just throw him with the Saints. Kick Drew Brees out, throw him with the Saints.
With that
The
offense, they can win 3 or
okay,
4 Super Bowls.
through his
Come on.
20 years though.
Well, he
You
wasn't
got to
that great
think
to start
back.
up his career. He
The
never. I mean, he
the
wasn't.
Saints have had maybe what? 3 good years, 4 good years, 5 maybe. Throughout 20 years, Brees is a great quarterback. Not better than Brady, but a great quarterback. There was ups and downs in that 20-year span with the Saints. With the Patriots, it's consistent, great every single year.
It is.
He
And you know who
cannot
else
do
is
that within
consistently
another
great
team.
every single year? Is Tom Brady. He's 40-something years old. Last year was a down year. He still almost threw for 30 touchdowns. He
Yeah.
still threw for over 4,000 yards. And he still had the game-winning drives. He was still clutch. He went
Who
back and
puts that team
forth.
together? Who puts the team together for him to do that?
He gives Tom Brady the crappiest. He had Julian Edelman as a receiver. Hey, you know who Philip Dorsett is? Yeah, me
Yes.
neither. Till last year. Great. Oh, cool. What did he get? 400 yards receiving? Awesome. Hey, you know who
Does
Chris
it
Morgan
work?
is? That one time he did so. Yeah, because Tom Brady makes it work.
No, because
Yeah,
Bill Belichick
yeah.
knows how to make that team work. He's
No,
a
he has
master at it.
offense set up. He trusts Tom Brady. He says,
I
all
would
right, give him
he
Edelman.
does trust Tom Brady,
Okay,
but you do not
that'll be
need these
good.
star players to give to Tom
Look
Brady.
what look
He
what
can make
happened
it work.
when he
I mean,
gave Tom Brady a good star receiver. He broke records. 2007 is one of the greatest offensive teams in NFL history.
yeah,
Every year he doesn't. We can still win games,
and win
but
Super
we
Bowl.
can't go. We can't go almost undefeated on through the
It's not
entire
like
season.
you don't need to break records.
It's
All
not
that
about
matters is
I was in
winning
his
the
division.
games and winning the Super Bowls.
Right, and that's what Tom Brady does with the little that he has.
The little that he has,
Julian Edelman, Tom Brady turned Julian Edelman, a quarterback in high school, to one of the greatest postseason receivers of all time. He's second in yards
anything
and
can work under that scheme. Bill Belichick is a master at
oh, so
creating a team
else do that?
for Brady.
Why doesn't
How
anyone else do
many?
that?
Me and you. That's a great question because they don't know how.
It is. Okay. Oh my God.
They don't know how to put these pieces together like Belichick. Yes, Brady gets a lot of credit and he deserves it. He's a great quarterback. He's clutch. He can make good throws. But
Brady makes
Belichick knows how to
yeah,
build that team perfectly
yes, he
and make it
builds a team.
consistent every
If
year.
your quarterback can execute with what he has, it doesn't matter what he does.
Any quarterback can execute with Belichick as a coach. Take Aaron Rodgers, take Russell Wilson, take Drew Brees, take Cam Newton, take
Did we
Deshaun
not
Watson.
just
Put him
discuss
over
the
there with
Browns
Belichick,
in
and
the
they
90s?
will
Did we
win
not
games.
talk about the Browns in the 90s? You said it didn't matter. He was a GM. It was his. He's
Wasn't
the
the
coach.
GM.
It's his scheme. It doesn't matter. It was his coach. It's
He
his
couldn't
scheme.
build the
Their
team
offense
the way
was
he wanted to
awful.
build it. They had a GM. He's
It
not
was
the GM.
still his scheme, Hunter. That's what I'm saying. Your whole point about the scheme doesn't matter.
And the finances. You got to add the finances with it and the knowledge as well. There's 3 reasons. No other team has had this big of a dynasty, has had 20 years of winning seasons, of winning records. Never in a million years.
I know
You can
he's the greatest coach of all time.
just kick Brady
He's
out.
probably
You can put
you can just
Deshaun
say he's the
Watson,
greatest GM
Andrew
of
Luck, Cam Newton, Drew Brees,
cannot.
and they
You
will
can't.
win games
They don't sit down every
and
day
win
and
Super.
watch 5 to 8 hours of film every
I
day.
bet you
They
they do.
don't do the things that Tom. They do not. They do
I
not. They
bet you
do
they
not
do.
do the things that Tom Brady every day. No, they do not. I promise you. I guarantee you that.
Guarantee they do. It's called a
Cool.
career
Oh,
of
do they?
football.
Oh, cool. So, and they take care of the body the way he does too. So I
Oh,
can't
probably
wait
not all
for
that. That's
Andrew Luck
crazy.
when he's
I've seen
40
that.
years
That's crazy.
old and he's playing like an MVP. Man, I can't wait for it. It's going to be awesome.
How old is he, Nick?
He'll be turning 42 before the season starts.
How old is he?
He'll be turning 42 before the season
He's
starts. Or
he's
40,
40. He's
40
what? I can't hear. 42 years old. Oh my God, I haven't heard that. Yes, we know he's 42 years old. I'm just
right,
saying
and he's still clutch and he's still making things
the
happen.
general Belichick has made that team 20-year dynasty. That's all I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying.
He's made a solid. Yeah, he has a good team every year, and if he didn't have Tom Brady to execute it, they might come away with 1 or 2 Super Bowls in the 20 years. And now you're just denying fact. I have agreed with everything you said, except you're thinking that's all it is. Without Tom Brady, they don't do it.
I
Bill
agree that they
sets it
need
up.
each other.
If he doesn't execute, then that's it.
Okay.
He's another Pete Carroll. They have a solid team every year. Probably go 500. You're on some acid or something. Think they're going to be last in their division. That's not going to happen. But yeah, I mean,
It'll be close.
He would be another team that goes. It just hey, Patriots got 10 wins this year. They could do it. Oh, they couldn't clutch it out in the end. Wonder why? Oh, well, if they had Tom Brady, they would have because they do.
Okay.
Reality,
There's Nick Coleman's argument with Tom. I agree. I say
Houston's
with Bill Belichick.
Bill.
We want to hear what y'all's thoughts of it is. Go tell us your comment or give us your thoughts about it in the comment section below in the Twitter and the Instagram, whatever you want to do. That was a very heated episode. We will probably be talking about this later on off camera. But anyway, anything you want to say about anything, Nick?
I think you're crazy sometimes. Other than that, that was a great episode. Over an hour long.
Same.
So
I think you're equally as crazy, if not more. But yes, it was a great episode. Very good. We do have a topic for next week. We will let y'all know what it is. It's probably going to be one topic because it's going to take a
one
while.
topic. It was a really good topic. So it's
Yep.
going to take a while. Yeah.
Brought in by a fan. So we will let y'all know on that topic what that topic is later on. But thank you for watching. As I said, Twitter, Instagram, everything in between. Have a good rest of your day. Thank you for watching, and we will catch you later.